Yeah, we don't trust the enemy. We don't trust him for him to give us the vaccine, right? But we trust him to feed us and provide for us. We trust him to pay us a fair salary and to take care of us on a job. But we won't take his vaccine. We'll trust him to provide housing and for him to protect our community. So, we'll call the police when something goes wrong in our community instead of policing our own communities. We trust him in everything that he gives us. We trust the food that we go to the supermarkets to pick up and eat. We don't grow it ourselves. So we trust him in everything. But we don't trust the vaccine. We sound ridiculous. We trust him in everything, but we won't even grow our own food. We won't police our own community. We won't look out for one another to protect us from the very person and people that we don't trust. We'll sit there and videotape our people being abused by the enemy. We shouldn't trust each other. That's where the trust shouldn't come from. We're a fearful, cowardly people when it comes to the enemy. I see some of us are so violent towards each other. But I'm very curious to know if some of these violent people ever raise their hand to steal on an enemy. You know what I mean? The real enemy. Probably not, because we have they put the fear of God in us, meaning that they're our God. And we fear them as we should fear the real God. They set themselves up as a God besides God. And we fell down and we prostrated to them. In every action, we're in submission to the enemy. All of our actions are submissive to the enemy. We're in prostration to the enemy. We're always on our knees asking the enemy to provide for us, asking the enemy for justice, asking the enemy on the welfare lines for food, asking the enemy for shelter, instead of creating these realities for ourselves out of the darkness of our mind. That's where the creativity comes from. But we're dependent on the enemy of God instead of being dependent on the God who created all of us. Cowardly. We're cowardly like the Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz. We have no heart like the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. We don't have no brain. Did one of them not have a brain? If they only had a brain, I don't know. I can't remember. But we're cowardly like the Cowardly Lion. We don't have courage like, we don't have heart like the Tin Man. I forgot what the Scarecrow, but we're weak like all of those characters in The Wizard of Oz. And we need to find a wizard. And we have one. We have one. We need somebody to restore us to our original selves. And we had that person come to us, and he taught us, and he freed us from the enemy, and we ran right back on the plantation. We only had a heart. We only had courage. Peace.